Hello friends, I'm Chevee. Welcome to my shed. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. I hope wherever you are in the world it is warm, because in West Virginia today it is ridiculous cold, like just stupid cold. And I say that as somebody who likes the cold. I'm a very warm-blooded person and I need the cold. I function much better in the cold, but it's just a miserable cold, like the kind that when you go outside you immediately just go, I don't even know what the temperature is, didn't bother to look. I just know it sucks. So, yeah. But regardless, it's Friday. And so I've been having a blast on the gaming channel playing Life is Strange. I don't know who suggested that game, but thank you so much. It's been so much fun playing it. And I think I'm going to stay up tonight and just finish it. And, put some episodes out next week. But I'm having a blast over there. So if you haven't checked out the gaming channel yet, please hop on over there and give it a check. And if you like what I'm doing, consider sharing the videos with your friends, because that channel needs to grow too. I like both of my channels, but you're my favorites. Don't tell anybody. Okay, so yesterday I asked you to tell us about your first jobs, and I think we'll do you before we do me. Does that? Normally I tell you my thing, and then we get into your story, and then I lose myself in some odd tangent. First up, actually we have a call, so we'll take the call first.
Hey Chevee, it's Adam.
Hey Adam.
I hope you are well.
Thank you.
So,
you too.
In regards to my first job, I was incredibly lucky. I got a job as a software intern.
A software intern?
At a software company. We did CAD systems or whatnot.
CAD systems.
They
okay.
had a very awesome culture. They have beers once a month on Friday. They actually have a keg in the office.
A keg in the office.
My boss would take us out once a quarter.
I heard that, right?
Out that worked for him, buy us all lunch. Very friendly environment. Very predicated on learning and then getting
Kegs,
things.
Free lunches, learning.
Fantastic. So, yeah, thanks for asking. Talk to you later. Bye.
I think you won the lottery on first jobs, Adam. I'm going to give you a clap for that, because that is... That right there. I think we'll just end the episode here, because I don't think that, the rest of us have stories like that. You got a keg in the office, got lunches. Yeah, my first job was nothing like that. Let's look at some of yours. Josh King said, shoveling horse shit on a horse farm. And I actually enjoyed it, and it taught me a good work ethic. You know what? Yeah, that is... I enjoy menial tasks like that. Paul says, my first job was with Burger King. It was a great experience because I learned how to man all the food prep stations in the restaurant, and the job provided me an understanding of how work was part of a team on an assembly line with time pressure to provide quality prep standards along with rapid customer response time. Interesting. I like your perspective there, Paul. That's not something that most fast food workers have. And I'm sure that you didn't have, well, maybe, I don't know. Knowing Paul, I've met Paul quite a few times. That might have been your perspective when you were first there. Gareth H. Graham says, shelf packer and cashier. I'm assuming grocery store like a stock boy. That sounds fun. Sean said, movie theater popcorn jockey. This is cool. We're getting a whole bunch of different results. Cage Creations worked at a mini golf place called 76 Golf World. Pretty amazing. Go-karts, batting cage, rock walls, the works. I think I technically still work there. I was going on a long summer vacation and basically told them, I let them know when I got back. Just never did. Well, as long as you had fun with it, and hey, maybe they're still expecting you. Scott said, ski resort cafeteria busboy. Wow. $2.25 per hour plus food discount on work days and free skiing. $2.25 an hour, people, as a busboy. And free skiing, though. Come on. Like that. You don't work there for the money. You work there for the ski lift tickets, right? I hear they're expensive. I've actually... nope, never been skiing. I need to do that someday. Epic Sauce. First few jobs... paid for by non-family, was staff at Boy Scout camp. I guess that counts. Working on his archery range as assistant for 8 weeks. Only on weekends did he get to go home. Feeding cows on Grandpa's farm was the first time working what he considered a job, and then working a bacon factory and a call center. So that's a large range of skills. Archery, call center, bacon farm. Did they grow bacon? Kidding, it's a joke. And then Lyra gives us this huge long thing, and this is actually a really good story. I'm going to leave it on screen here for a little bit so you can read it, because it's pretty funny. But essentially, she worked at a frozen yogurt stand, or spot, at a mall, and she talks about some rude customers and tells us this wonderful little story of this extremely rude customer. And spoiler alert, I also worked in food service, and yes, I saw lots of stuff. One of her first and worst job experiences, and she used the money to buy a puppy. So, you had to deal with people like this, but you got a puppy. That's interesting. My first official job, and I said yesterday I didn't consider like grass cutting a job. Don't get me wrong, it definitely can be, but I'm looking at, what was your first job where you were expected to perform a duty on scheduled times more than a couple days a week, right? Like, were you a job? And my very first job was when I was 13. I was young. I was a paper boy. And I kind of count it. I kind of don't count it. Paperboy is a very thankless thing. It's a 7-day a week, 365-day a year job. There's no vacation. There's no holidays. You wake up every morning and deliver your papers. I had about 80 customers on my route or so, and I made like $100 a month. $100 a month but I was 13, right? And it really took me about an hour every morning, and it was actually exercise. I got up, I walked my route because it was basically my neighborhood, and I enjoyed that for the most part. What sucks is when you just can never take a day off. You have to constantly get the papers out. But then my first real job, I think it was the summer of before my senior year, or it might have been my junior year. I might have been still in high school. I'm not sure, or still in junior year. I'm not sure when it was exactly. That whole time is, I did a little, anyway, most of those brain cells are gone. There was an ad they needed a cleanup crew or a help crew for construction on a new Burger King. And so I showed up like, yeah. Heck yeah. I thought I'm going to show up and help with the construction. Like, maybe they need help running some wires or whatever they need help with. That's what I was going to do. So I showed up, and it essentially turned into like cleanup crew. We cleaned up like all the leftover junk that the carpenters left behind. They were still there working on it, but they were on the roof at that point. So we had to clean up all the drywall pieces and broken tiles and all that stuff. Then we had to clean the whole restaurant. And that was like maybe a month of work or 2 months of work for a couple of us while they were finishing up the restaurant. And then when that ended, they offered us a job at the restaurant. And I was like, sure, I'm a high school student. I'll work at Burger King. And at that time, it was just something to do to make money. I worked nights, so I would get off of school, go home, do whatever I could in the few hours I had off, then go to work. And I would usually not get home till midnight or later. Wake up at 6:30 and go to school the next day. And I did that my senior year, my whole senior year. And I honestly have no idea what I did with any of that money. I couldn't tell you. Besides recreational activities. I'm not sure what I did with that money. I have no idea. I had no car. I had no purpose for it. I walked to work. It was like 1.5 miles from my parents' house, so I would walk there and back, or my parents would take me if they could or would. Many nights at 1:00 in the morning, I was walking home from work as a 17-year-old or maybe an 18-year-old. So that was my first real job, and like Paul, I really enjoyed it. And it wasn't because I learned about line assembly or pressure. When I was a teenager, none of that stuff really mattered to me. But I enjoyed it because it's honestly not very difficult work. Like, it's kind of fun. It's not always busy. when it is busy, it can be slightly stressful because you're trying to slam orders out without screwing up. You're really trying hard not to mess anybody's food up. If you ever think that the guy in the back is spitting in your food, he doesn't have time to spit in your food. He's trying to get everybody else's food done as well, and so it's just trying to happen, right? We're trying to get it out, in a reasonable amount of time. So during the rushes, the lunch rushes and all that stuff, dinner rushes, it sucks. But working night shift for most part, it's never really busy, and I really enjoyed it. It was very lax, and we had fun there. We goofed off, and we were responsible for most of the cleanup for the day. So when the customers started dying down, we started mopping the store and cleaning out the play area and wiping all the tables and restocking and all that stuff to get ready for the next day. And I really enjoyed the work. It was not difficult work. It was busy work, and that's the kind of work that I enjoyed when I was that age. I wasn't necessarily interested in going there to, explore my creativity or, explore my potential. It was like, this is just busy work, and then let me get a paycheck and I'll go away. I probably bought a lot of Magic cards. Actually, I know that's what I did with the money. Board games, trading cards, video games. That's what I did with the money. Yeah. And you know what? Like I said, it taught me a lot about responsibility and schedules and just being a decent employee. And then I went straight from that in the Marine Corps. And in fact, the job that I currently have, I got when I was 31. And this is the first job I ever interviewed for. All the jobs I've had throughout the years, from automotive mechanic, automotive parts department manager, 2 times in a service department position, car salesman, Burger King, paper boy, Marine Corps, computer repair store, biographics store. I never had an interview in my life until I was 31. My first interview was my current job. So yeah, and hopefully I get to keep this job. Or if not, we'll figure something else out. But that's what's happening here. I loved your stories. Thank you so much for sharing. I will try to come up with something for Monday, but right now I just want to go play video games. So we'll figure something out to talk about next week, and I'll probably post it on social media. If you're not following me on Twitter, please do so, at Chevee Dodd. And when I figure out Monday's topic, I'll post it on there, and then you can, respond and tell us about yourself, because I love stuff like this. So thank you all for being here, as always. I really do appreciate you. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. No, Monday. I'll see you Monday. Maybe tomorrow, if you watch the gaming channel.
Hey Doc, wait! I want to ask you something.
Today's random fact comes from cs.ucf.edu. Do whales have a nose? Didn't we just do sharks yesterday? They have nostrils called blowholes. Over millions of years of evolution, whales and dolphins' nostrils move to the top of their head. This allows them to breathe by surfacing instead of them sucking their whole sticking. This allows them to breathe by surfacing instead of them sticking their whole head out of the water. The first thing a newborn dolphin must do is go to the surface to breathe. Is that what they smell out of? They smell out of their blowholes?